Okay, pre-algebra, if you've been paying attention in your books, you'll see that coming up next we have the quiz. It's been a while since you've been through sections 7.1 and 7.2, so I'll go ahead and do a little bit of review for you. So it starts off with just this symbol, which is a square root symbol, obviously. Hopefully you can see that. And it just means like if I have a 16 in here, what number times itself is equal to 16? And that would obviously be 4. Now I can say positive 4, even though negative 4 works as well, because if I wanted you to give me the negative root, I would put a negative in front of it. And then the answer for this would be negative 4. But if it's blank, if it's just blank like that, that's the positive root, or the principal root, as it's also called. Okay? So if I wanted you to give me both roots, so let's say that, for example, the positive and negative roots of 144, well then this would be positive and negative, would be positive and negative 12. Or you could write it as 12 and negative 12. Both of these ways would work. So that's section 7.1. We can also, one more thing in 7.1, we can also have fractions. We can have fractions inside square roots. Now the way to think about this is just split it up. The square root of 16 over the square root of 25, so that'd be 4/5. One last trick with these is sometimes you might have something like the square root of 50 over 2. Unfortunately, square root of 50 isn't anything nice, and the square root of 2 isn't anything nice. However, we can divide 50 over 2 first to make the square root of 25, which would then equal 5. So we can divide inside the square root first before we take the square root. Or we can square root first and then divide 4 over 5. Both of these work. So that was section 7.1. Do I have enough room over here? Yeah. All right. Section 7.2, basically the exact same thing as this, but it dealt with cube roots. So the third root, for example, of 8. The third root of 8 is equal to 2. Now I don't have to worry about the positive or negatives. There is only one cubed root of 8, and it's positive 2. The cubed root of negative 8 would equal negative 2. So notice the difference with this one over here, where I have to specify whether I have a positive or negative roots for this one, but for the cube roots I don't. This is because 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8, and here negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, negative times a negative is positive, times by a negative number is negative 8. So it is okay that there's a negative number underneath the cube root. So it's basically the exact same things here, but with cubic roots. So the cubed root of 125 over 1,000. You can try that on your own if you would like, or that would equal 5 over, well, split this up first. Get the cubed root of 125 over the cubed root of 1,000. The cubed root of 125 is 5. The cubed root of that is 10. So that would equal 1/2. Is that all on there? Yeah, you can see it. So that's 7.2. Something that you are going to be asked to do as well on this quiz is you are going to be asked to evaluate some expressions with cube roots in it. And it's important to know that roots are exponents. So they take precedence over multiplication or addition, if you remember our gems. We do the groups first, that's parentheses. We do the exponents next, or roots and cube roots. And then we multiply, divide, add, and subtract from left to right. So that's going to be useful when we're doing our expressions. So let's say that I have something like 3 times the root of 36 plus 5. Well, we evaluate what the what the root of 36 is first. 3, and this is 6. This means multiplication here. So we evaluate the root first, then we multiply, and then we add. So this is 18 plus 5, which is 23. Something I've seen kids do a lot is, let's say, I don't know, 25. What they'll do is they'll actually subtract this first, these two numbers first. And you can't do that first because subtraction is the very last thing that we do. We have to evaluate the square root of 25 first. So we got 10 minus 2 times 5, 10 minus 10, which is 0. A lot of people would have said that the answer to this is 40, because they would do 10 minus 2, which is 8, and multiply it by 5, which would be 40. But that is incorrect. You have to do the square root first, multiply next, and then subtract only at the very end. One more thing. If I have a cubed root of, let's say, negative 45, and then I cube it, you put this into your calculator, you're going to get some weird answer. Well, it's not a weird answer, it's going to be the answer. But then when you cube it, you'll get that is equal to negative 45. So this is just there to, I don't know, confuse you. Okay, that is section 7.1 and 7.2. You have a Pythagorean theorem as well, that's 7.3. I'm not going to go over that. You can look at my previous video if you want some examples on that. But yeah, go to page 307 and do all of it except number 17. If you have any questions, let me know. It's just very important that you remember the order of operations. Okay? Okay.